You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
WEPA, mi gente, was popping, yo. Today's episode right here, this ain't just fire. I'm telling you, this is a full-on creative solar flare hitting you in your feeds. I'm telling you, all right? We got two titans, that's right, from Rising Empire Studios. Let me tell you, they're rising like phoenixes right now. And the folks who've been cooking up one of the fastest growing universes in pop culture, all right? And guess what? They're about to drop something so massive on all of us. Something new, something next level, something the fans have been hungry for. So first, stepping into the arena, the visionary, the empire builder, the man steering the entire Rising Empire mothership, Riz Kiley, CEO, world conqueror, franchise architect. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, hey, hold up. I'm not just having you, because rolling up beside him, the narrative-based beast, the world shaper, the chief creative officer with a pen sharper than a vibranium blade, folks, let me tell you. One of the co-creators of Alpha Clash and co-authoring a brand new project with the legendary Mark Waid, the one, the only AJ Light, baby. And now, guess what, Crusaders? Their new series, Rising Empires, co-created by Ridge and AJ, co-authored by AJ and Mark Waid, is launching on Kickstarter real soon. You heard? Real soon. Not live yet, but trust me, when it hits, it's gonna drop harder than a beat from Big WEPA Music Studios. You heard my music, you know what it is, right? So we're gonna be diving deep into their journeys, their world building, and what fans can expect when this thing kicks off. So let's go, gentlemen. Welcome to the show, man. How you fellas doing?
I'm feeling great, man. Thanks a lot. That was a hell of an intro, man. I love it.
I mean, this is comic books. You guys are dope creators, and y'all bringing your A game to the game, baby. And you bring me energy, so I'm feeling it. You know, we listen, folks. We're about to put you on to your next favorite book in all. You heard what happened with Kickstarter this year, right? It's like the #1 independent publisher, kind of, if you will, this year. I mean, mad books were funded, independent projects, because people are seeking something different from the big two. And these two guys right here, they're bringing the game, the A game, along with the legendary Mark Waid. You know what I mean? On some joint. So, guys, tell us right here, what's the origin moment where you both realize, we're not building a project, we're about to build an empire?
Yeah. Oh man, that I would say as soon as we figured out we were working with Mark Waid, I mean, it was, we had this strong feeling that we can really get this story out there. We know that we have great content, great stories, but just to have such a powerhouse of a writer and a name in the industry, alongside our artists who are just super incredible, and AJ, who's just an awesome writer. Like, man,
I threw that out there like that just on purpose, because now we need to know this. You said this, you got this guy. When did you go fishing for him? How did you land a boss like Wade?
Man, it was kind of crazy. Actually, we were giving out some stuff. I gave my an Alpha Clash hat and some swag to my dad. Right. He actually gave it to a friend of his. They met a mutual friend of Mark Waid who followed us, on an elevator of all places in Orlando. He says, "You know what? You ought to check this guy out." And so through a very weird channel of things, Mark Waid ended up reading some of our material, reading our book. And he was like, "Man, I like this stuff." And then, would you guys be open to collaborate? And so then the same connection, this guy's named Eric Calderon, kind of connected us. And, Mark is, I don't know if you ever met the guy, but he's a super great,
I have not
very
had
generous.
the honor yet. I have not had, I've gone to so many cons, But to be honest, I'm not. Listen, I can't be waiting online, son. You know what I mean? When I want to meet you like this, I'm pressed. You know, give me 5 minutes with the guy to pimp his next project and shake his hand. You know, and give me that. I won't disturb nobody. Just 5 minutes. Listen, when I go to the con, I'm trying to make sure you guys make money. I will sell you a book there. I will sell two. Listen, Joe St. Pierre, for example. I love it. Yo, check out Joe St. Pierre, Astronaut. You know how many times I sold books when I visited him at his table? You can show up. I pimp it. Next thing you know, they buy. I'm like, Joe, he probably owes me hundreds of dollars in commission. I will sell the shit out of your books, fellas. Let me tell you. Well, all right. So, I mean, how did it feel though when you had a dude like Mark hit you up, say, "Yo, can we collabo?" I mean, that must have been humbling. Like, what?
Humbling and unbelievable. I mean, I got Mark Waid comics from 1995, 96, Flash. And I've been collecting comics my whole life. And, they say, hey, don't meet your heroes, but I met my hero and he's awesome, and the guy is as open and friendly and creative as he writes his stories. And he was so cool. And immediately we just started to talk about things and especially we're like, we were kind of just, having conversations to see if this would even work out. And he goes, you know what? I think it is going to work out. This sounds like a really good idea. And then we just start ping ponging ideas off each other. I swat one his way, he swats one back. Says, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I'll write up not a proposal, but I write up a draft of a thing. He says, "You know what? That's cool, but what about this or that?" And then take that and put it into 5 frames instead of 8, or things like that.
Yeah, learning you the business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talk about the craft. Yeah.
As you should, because again, people forget, like everybody wants to write a comic book, but listen, to create a comic book, it is an absolute craft. You need to know layout, you need to know narrative storytelling through art, and through word, and how can we match this up properly. I mean, listen, man, comic book making is in fact an artistry, and people should not forget that. It is not easy to make a comic book. It is not, and that's why much respect to you guys that go ahead and go on these endeavors like this, for real. Like this is why I do what I do here and want to talk to you guys. Like, yo, what inspires you guys? I'm dying to tell a story and I have an idea, and the more into folks like you, these independent guys that are just fucking rocking the game, you just inspire me. So bless on that. Now, let's move a little bit forward here, because what part of Alpha Crash Journey prepare you the most for this new series, Rising Empires?
Oh, man, I feel like, this is year 4 for us, and everything that we've done.
4 years, indie, baby, yeah. Bless.
Yeah, it's been awesome, but just through learning, the ins and outs of the comic industry, the tabletop gaming industry, the novels, because we have multiple products, but everything has culminated into this, this point of time. All of our learnings, we're basically prepared to really launch an awesome campaign, an awesome new product. And this thing is definitely going to swing outside its weight class in terms of an IP, but I think people are going to really just think how awesome the story is, and just see that it can contend with, the best out there.
But I always think indie can, and in fact does, because listen, Marvel, DC, love you guys. You know what they are to me? They are weed. They are the entry point because they are the known IPs. But once a real comic book collector or reader gets into the culture, they find the indie and understand that's way better shit than what these guys are doing. And no disrespect to them, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, when we want something that's forward thinking, something new, man, we could definitely always rely on indie for that, and this is why I always respect, independent creators for bringing the new ideas, the fun shit, without that, the rules of those IPs. Like, you can't do this, you can't. Why not? It's your shit. You do whatever the fuck you want. Love it.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because we happen to see, a certain movie by, one of the, major 2, and we saw it. And when I got as soon as it was done, it was like, we have to tell a story, and I know we can tell it better than that. We need to get back to good storytelling. And that was kind of like the first moment that, I mean, you know, AJ and I talked just kind of about.
So what's the promance here? How did you guys even meet? I need to start with the promance, like I like to call it. How did you guys meet?
We met in the circus, of all things. We both worked at Cirque du Soleil. Yeah, I've been
Cirque du Soleil. What?
Yeah. I've been in. Well, right now I'm a coach, but I used to do some acrobatics. I was a circus trapeze artist. But I've been coaching for like harkening back to Dick Grayson. If we want to get to comic books, you know, like
there we go. Yeah, AJ Light is the real Dick Grayson in real life, bro. What's going on?
I wish, but it'd be nice to have a billionaire adopted dad. But
that's not what Rich is. Rich is not your billionaire pops.
No, he ain't my sugar daddy. but yeah, we were working. I was an acrobatics coach, and he's a strength coach. This guy knows how to make people move some weights and get people strong.
He's like that dude on YouTube that like he looks mad skinny. He be surprising these dudes by picking up like massive.
Dresses like
see this dude. I love it. Yeah, he looks like a janitor. I love this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I see that.
Rich dresses like a janitor and deadlifts 600, 800 pounds.
You know what though? People don't understand though. Like, muscle is not strength. It's inner fibers. When you do you know, what I call stamina workouts, where you double your reps for half the weight, you build those inner fibers where the strength really lies. And like people don't understand, when I was younger, holy shit, bro, I had a grip no one could let go of. Thank God I ain't got in trouble for it.
But yeah, I mean, that's really how we met. I moved to Vegas, had worked with MMA fighters and the combat sports scene before, but you know, got into Cirque du Soleil. Al and I worked at Cirque du Soleil together for 6 years before I eventually just, you know, had moved away and left. But what was cool about that is so I was the head of strength and conditioning. He was the head coach for multiple shows, and we would get moved around to new shows every couple of years. And so when we first started, we were at Chris Angel Mind Freak together.
Mind Freak?
Yeah, we were there. And then we moved into the Beatles Love together. And then from there, we went to the show called O. It's a water show. It's a really cool water show in Vegas. And then from there, we went to MJ1 and Ka. Right. Yeah. And then that's all the ones that we worked together on. And so we worked together on tons of shows, and we just became good friends. And so if there was ever like, oh, we're watching training and all that, you know, we're just nerding out over the newest Marvel movie or a new.
All right. So what was the conversation like? Like, who broke the ice on the nerddom?
Man, it could have been me. I don't know.
It was.
Because I used to call them business lunch. I said, you know what we need to do? We need to have a business lunch. And that's when we would sneak off and catch a daytime Marvel movie or something.
I love it.
You know, because like a lot of our entertainment world, we'd start around 2:00 in the afternoon and work till 11. That's my schedule typically, right?
All right.
You know, because we got night shows and stuff like that. You know, and so when we'd have trainings and stuff, sometimes we'd get out of there, we could catch a 10:30 matinee before we go to work. You know, and then we got something to talk about. So we started doing that, and really enjoying the comics and stuff. And then really, what happened, and actually, it was a great. Putting in the groundwork for what we do now, because as an acrobatics coach, I would we'd talk about our artists going, you know, doing high explosive things and crazy stuff, and they need the strength and the packaging to get that stuff done and build the durability. So I'd go to Ridge and say, hey, can you make this guy stronger here? Can you make him faster that way? Or he needs some durability here, or she needs some of this. And so that we were always working back and forth. When the pandemic hit, we were out of work because we had nothing to do. They closed up Vegas, you know. And so Ridge actually got the idea to kind of start everything and called me up, and we were just talking. Actually, it's funny, we were talking about another story. I was thinking about writing a story about the end of the world. It was just going to be a sci-fi novel.
Because it was the end of the world for you, right? You're stuck home. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And man, they rolled up the streets here. Seriously, it was like zombie apocalypse down here in Vegas.
Oh, bro, I was in Orlando, Florida, When I used to go to 7-Eleven, I swear to God, I was the only car on the road where I was at. And I go to 7-Eleven, I'm about myself masked up. And you know, I'm like, what is going on? You know, it really feels like where the zombies at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got into it and we said, well, what do we want to do we're just as passionate about that we were passionate about, like circus acrobatics and strength and conditioning. And he says, oh, I got this idea. And he pitched his idea. And then we just sort of started to work where I could fill in the gaps and all that stuff. Because originally, I'll let him tell that part of the story. But I mean, he originally wanted it as a video game, but he's into cards and video games, and I was into comics. And so, like, you know, chocolate and peanut butter, getting it together. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? What is a tremendous mix, chocolate and peanut butter, baby. Don't be playing with me, but you're just making me hungry. You better stop it. Now, Rich. All right. So Rich, you an OG gamer first versus comic guy because of that idea? Be honest.
Yeah. I loved video games. I mean, started with.
All right. What was the first game ever, though? First game ever.
First game ever was probably Punch Out.
Oh man, the Nintendo OG.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Dig it. Did you win on your first time around? How long before you beat it?
Oh, let's see. Who do you fight first? Gabby J, maybe? And I would have beat him my first time, but then it would have been like King Hippo or something like that. And then, you know, would have lost. But
took you a minute, right?
Glass Joe, yeah. I thought was one of the.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played Punch Out, but, you know, obviously wasn't fighting Mike Tyson.
Man, it's been years, yo. Not yet. I get it. I haven't beat Contra yet. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But really just loved video games, played tabletop games, collected like Pokemon when I was a kid, eventually got into Magic the Gathering when I got into middle school, through high school. But I was an athlete, and in my downtime, I would play video games because it was another way to compete, but I didn't have to beat up my body or anything like that. Always loved all things like Marvel, DC, but never was in the comic book side of things. I would watch the shows, like the X-Men in the 90s, Spider-Man.
So that was your first show, the X-Men. So you were, if you were to say you were to lean to something, would it be Marvel, DC? Which one?
Definitely in the 90s, and even today, I'd say Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say Marvel.
Okay. I mean, again, these their own. I love the live action DCs, but the Marvel cartoons back in the day definitely kicked ass. But the DC animated films beat the crap of the Marvel ones, honestly. But Marvel fucks up DC in live action, like movies.
Yeah. I'd agree. Yeah, I think the animated stuff with DC is definitely.
Yeah, have you seen Aztec Batman? I don't know if they've translated it to English yet. I saw the Spanish version, and luckily I'm Latino, so I could understand it. And I'm like, oh, this was so cool. What a different take on the Batman myth, though. I don't know if you guys got to see that. But
I saw the Yakuza when he goes back to Yakuza League.
Oh, that one is crazy, too. Yeah, listen, but I love how they do all this. And this is what we're talking about. I mean, with Alpha Crash, Rising Empire, it's what fans want to see, So what's the first thing you hope blows their minds? I'm about to show the little Kickstarter pre-launch page. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna add this baby right now. Add it to the stage. This is the page, folks. Right there. Look, that's the link. And guess what? Also, I make it easy for you. I know how Comic Crusaders do, right? So please check out the QR code that I'm about to put in the corner. Now, isn't it funny when you want to show it? There you go. Go put up your camera on that mother, right? Let me put my head up there. That way you can still see Al, the other Al. All right. But with this, what do you hope like fans react when they see this baby come up?
I think fans are going to really react to the artwork at first. I mean, I think that this isn't some high school project. This is legit. We got some great artists. And with Mark's talent too, it's just a great marriage of storytelling with the art. He's a craftsman, and he's been teaching me a lot of great skills and nuance about the art form and the craft of comic writing. And I think people are going to get right in there, and they're going to like our characters. They're going to like some of the humor in it. We've always had a little bit of humor in our
They're
books.
not going to like your characters. They're going to love your characters.
They're going to love
those characters, bro.
They are.
Yeah. You gotta elevate that language, cause bro, bro. I'm excited, man. I love comic books. You gotta understand this, bro. This is my joint. So when it comes to this, like, what part, when they get into this book, right? This is on pre-launch right now, folks. Right? Again, you just hit that barcode right there. But what's one thing that's gonna surprise them that you think they're gonna miss out at first, and when they reread this, they're gonna be like, oh shit, how did I miss that?
I think they're gonna like the different perspectives. Issue 1, issue 2 follows like some different characters, and then in issue 3 it all comes together. And that's when it drops like hardcore, and we're gonna be flinging people around and doing some interesting stuff, and getting some like heavies out there, busting things up.
I love it. Rich, as CEO, like how different was it preparing for a new comic series launch versus a TCG launch?
Oh man, the processes are definitely different. I think the comic book process, I like the change of pace because I get to, I create the TCG. I'm very heavily involved in the creation of it, the development side. But as I kind of manage the project, so a little bit different responsibilities on the comic book side. But I get to be entertained. I get to enjoy it, right out the gate. I just consume it. They hand it to me. They hand me the scripts. I read it. I may give feedback. I see the artwork come in of, what they've already written. I get to share it with them, see what they think. And I really just kind of just carry the process along, make sure that it's moving. Yeah. Where the TCG, it's like, I'm on the creation side. I'm helping write cards, coming up with these ideas and really in the nitty gritty. And so the processes are just very different. And I actually really enjoy the just the differences between the two. I'm much more entertained and get to be more of a consumer on one side. And the other is,
being the mastermind. Yeah. I dig it. No, honestly, which one gave you more great hairs, though? If you're gonna say bottom line,
TCG for sure.
Yeah,
I love it. Now, when fans finally, actually, what's something you're doing differently this time that you wish you did on every first Alpha Crash launch?
I think that I wish that we had the same just art team out the gate. The writing from AJ, he's always going to bring it. It's always top tier. Now, of course, if we could have Mark Waid on every project too, cherry on top, amazing. But the combination of them is
but Al's the whipped cream. Don't you worry, bro. We got this.
Yeah. But really, just if we had the same art team that was just doing it. Because we know when we hand it to them, it's getting done and it's getting done right.
I dig it. Now, Al, bro, which Rising Empire's character refused to behave on the page and forced you to rewrite a scene?
Ooh, well, I mean, we got a guy coming up. His name is Brick.
that was my
Brick. He sounded like a Taurus, hard-headed mother effer.
Brick Morales, actually, is his name.
Not Latino, of course, because we hard-headed effers.
He's from Brooklyn.
I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah, we even worse. Keep adding to this. I love it.
And he just he's got he's an older dude as well, actually. Yeah. So he and there's a younger guy, and of course we got some PC moments where he's like, "Hey, you just say this." He's like, "You can't say that anymore." And there's those guys that are hilarious, and so they have a Mutt and Jeff kind of relationship going back and forth. Where the old guy's like, "Hey,
oh my god, am I going to see myself in the comic book here or some shit?" That's what it
seems
like.
I think you will. I think that's what people like in our comics and in our characters in general. They see a little piece of themselves in all these little guys. Like even with our novel or audio book, we get there's a variety of characters from all over the world, so there's always these people with different backgrounds And when they get together, when our fans get together, actually, they come out and it'll surprise the hell out of you who they really love or who they really hate, but they love to hate them, and and it gets it really fun.
And was that one of your favorites writing?
Writing for Brick, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like him, but my favorite character to write right now is a guy named Mean Streak. He's not in this particular series, but he's fun and he's got a lot of quirks and good.
Yeah, man. Listen, if you're coming with a Brooklyn swagger and you got a man called Mean Streak, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it too. Oh man.
Yeah. So he's from Chicago.
Oh, Chi-Town. Yeah, I was in Chi-Town for C2E2. Listen, man, I had to tell him. I went to supposedly it was one of the best spots where they make Chicago, pizza. I'm like, this ain't pizza, this is a pie. Yeah, they got so mad at me. I was lucky I didn't get jumped.
Yeah.
Now, what's the funniest, weirdest, or most unexpected behind the scenes moment while prepping this whole new series?
Wow.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, the funniest. I mean, the most fun is like sometimes these people will come up to me at a booth or whatever, and they've been reading the books. They are really loving. And they'll quote something back to me about a certain character that they love or absolutely hate, and I go, yeah, I get it. I get that, and then, or my wife is so pissed at you because you killed this person, and they go back and forth, and that's a lot of fun. The most fun and unexpected thing about this is like, for me, back behind the scenes, we went and we had Mark Waid at the LA Comic-Con booth with us, and he's signing our stuff, and he's signing things for everybody. He's just super generous and fun. And, I was laughing about, he and I were laughing actually about like, these young ladies came up, they're in their 20s, and they said, Mr. Waid, we love this. And this is Batman and Robin year one. And he signs their issues and they talk about how he writes Bruce Wayne. And, they just give such a great critique on all stuff. And they walk away and I go, man, when I was a kid, they didn't have girls in comics, girls weren't into comics.
But do you see me? Let me tell you, man, that I grew up where I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I never, ever met a female that was into comics.
Exactly.
Ever.
You have to hide that shit, right? And
we hid it in the night. I didn't hide it in junior high school because there was a group of us. But in high school, no one knew. I was the quietest dude with a trench coat that no one wanted to mess with because I looked so mean.
Man, I wasn't a trench coat dude, but I was a jock. I was a wrestler and an athlete, and I loved my comics, and that was my two sides of my personality, right?
Oh no,
and,
I tried for baseball. I was about to make the team, but then I got into the cooperative education program, which means I work 1 week and go to school 1 week, like run a business. So I was like, I can't do the sports because the timing's like fuck. I would have been a hell of a ball player. Yeah.
But we laugh because Mark's a little bit older than me, and he's like, yeah, girls weren't into this stuff when I was a kid either, and then the best part is we see this, super attractive 20-something years old dressed as Harley Quinn, and he goes, yeah, when I was a kid, the girls definitely didn't dress like that, either,
oh yeah, but listen, man,
and all that stuff.
True. And it's cool, it's awesome that they're able, because again, if you really look back in the day, what were the biggest sellers of romance comics? And actually, females were some of the biggest readers, and really buying and eating up the comics. But again, it was a community that it was shunned upon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Even though this medium is so beautiful, so I'm happy that nowadays it's not frowned upon or shunned, but rather celebrated. And thank you guys for making such. I'm excited. I can't wait because let's talk about this now. Because every franchise has this is the tone type of moment. What's the moment in Rising Empires that defines the whole vibe?
What's the tone? I mean, I would like to say that, we're serious, but we don't take ourselves too serious. There are some times where there will be some heartfelt moments, but then there'll be some times where you can crack up too. And that's what reality is for us, like, even though this is a fantasy world that we're living with superpowers and everything like that, these guys can still be human and still have a human element to where they're going, And I think Brick, there's another guy named Huff.
Does he puff?
Puff. He doesn't puff, but he's got breath powers, and so he goes, and he takes care of business, and he can be fast or strong or tough, but he can only choose one at a time, and so he does his breathe. He does like a little breath work, and then he can be fast for a little bit. Does a little breath work. He can be strong for a little bit. And then that's one of our guys, and then another.
And that's real life stuff too, man. Through the holistic stuff, they talk about. I see where you're going, bro. I see where you're going. I dig it. I'm listen, bro. You selling me like a motherfucker. I'm supposed to be selling the book. Anyway, Ridge, what's one misconception people have about launching a big creative project like this?
I think that sometimes, Kickstarter has certain connotations, but what I can tell you is Kickstarter is a great platform for us to get in front of a ton of people. Yes. And it really is like a launch pad for us for several of our projects that we've done. And I believe that we take pride in being an indie publisher, but I believe this is going to be a great onboarding point for people into all things Alpha Clash, and just kind of going back to like defining what that is, or what makes the story and all that. I think that people are going to think it's funny and it's action packed and it's got all the qualities of good storytelling, good artwork, and it's just tied together in really an original universe. This is something, it's a grounded story. So, our novel series is a little bit more Avengers level, where this is a little more grounded, kind of brings it back down to that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man level. And I think people are just going to find something, refreshing with it.
Listen, you guys excited me. Now, AJ, this is yours right here. How do you balance working with a legend like Mark Waid while still making sure that your particular voice shines through?
That is not as hard as it might sound because of Mark.
Fantastic.
Look, he's Mark Waid. He's a legend. I would just do what he, it'd be very easy to just say, hey, write this. And I go, okay, sure, Mr. Waid. But he's a great partner. He's a great collaborator. And he honestly is a collaborator in the sense that he listens to ideas, generates his own, and we just honestly go back and forth. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie. There was a bit of imposter syndrome, probably the first couple conversations we had, but he's so genuine, and he's a very genuine guy. He's a very generous guy. And we just sat around and kind of got to know each other. And then now it's not an issue, I go, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. And like and he's given me the confidence because there's a couple ways to write comics and stories in general. Like, do you want to outline every detail, or do you want to just kind of set the characters in a direction and then kind of figure it out? And he's a set the characters in a direction and then figure it out. It adds a sense of spontaneity to the storytelling, I think, and he's very good about that. So he's like, yeah, you don't have to figure that out yet. Pursue where you're going. And then when we paint ourselves into a corner, we'll figure out how to get out of that. And I said, okay, and so that's been a really great thing. So, I mean, I don't have to, I think it started off where I was like, yes, Mr. Waid. And then he's like, we're going to cut that shit out right now. Like, just call me Mark and we're going to get things done. And
all right. So let's talk about that. How do those, how the pushing past those struggles kind of evolve the story then?
Ooh, I mean, I just think there's it gets to be a good flow. And I'll tell you, one of the strongest lessons I learned from Mark is like, I wrote a novel, right? And I talk about this a lot as like writing a novel, you're expected to be detailed, and sometimes you can walk someone through every minute of a scene, where in comics you have to have a certain conciseness, and you have to let the story flow through the visual panels. You can't have 35 panels on a page. Your artists are going to go crazy, and you don't need this. It's not animation, right? You don't need everything move, so you have to structure things away in that leads your reader to infer what's going on. Of course, they're going to know what's going to happen. You don't need to see the guy walking to know he walked from here to there, from one panel to the next. So in getting that part of the craft going, like he goes, I see what you're trying to say here. What if you tried it in 4 panels instead of 9? And I went, oh gosh, and so there's a real challenge there to get that across, and then to still have the emotional impact if you want a scene like that. Like, do you cut in? Do you pull back? Do you just get the eyes? Those are
all about this. Love it.
Those are
I love this
stuff that we kind of like want to delve into when it gets into that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, it's been a great exercise too for me up here. Like being creative, but then
your brain is looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right now.
Me,
right? Yeah.
I mean, your brain is looking like Arnold.
Oh, brain is looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger too. Yeah.
I love it, bro. I love it because you're talking about that brain work, and that shit is very important. Now, let me ask Rich here, bro, what can fans expect from the Kickstarter launch, like without spoiling anything that will make them say, "Oh yeah, I am backing day one"?
There's something for everyone. There's digital content. So if you're international, or maybe you just love digital, there's that. And then we have tiers that'll go all the way up for all different kinds of budgets and collectability. So if you're an ultra collector, we've got some things that you will not want to miss. You can expect tons of different variant covers. You can expect, really, this is built.
Anyone you're particularly excited for?
Man, we have
Can you tease anything before it goes live?
Man,
he's like, ooh, don't make me do this, Al.
we will have all the artists public and all that on the page, so you know exactly who's been working on the campaign and stuff. But honestly, we have 6 or 7 different cover artists alone, in addition to all the artists that work on the interiors as well. So I think from
we'll have
the moment they
alternate covers.
Yep. So really good, just alternate arts on those. So man, the artwork, I think the campaign's going to look really cool. Good comic book feel. This is our
pages. Can you tease how many pages like if we go 1, 2, and 3, how many pages of story content are we getting into our hands?
Let's see, 24, 48, and then the final one will add somewhere between 24 and 40 on the final issue.
Oh, so we're definitely getting into the hundreds, for sure. Hey, oh my God!
And this is the first 3 issues of this will be a good contained story, but then it's going to link to another 3 issues later on. So
continuing series, baby.
We're going to keep it going. Yeah. So
this is what I want.
If you collect them all, I mean, you got 200 pages of stuff.
It's like Pokemon. You got to get them all, baby. Get them all.
Yeah,
get them all.
Exactly.
You're gonna want to get them all because you're gonna be like, what are these guys gonna do now?
It's the future of TV. If Netflix can't be buying, DC and shit, let's see what happens. They're gonna be buying your IP. You know what I mean? Which is gonna be way better than what they got. But bro, let's talk about this. This is not live yet. And again, folks, that QR code will lead you straight to the campaign. So make sure you click that and get notified on launch. That's the link. You see that? That's the link below. Show that love. But since it's not live yet, right? What's the one thing that fans should be doing right now to prepare for this amazing launch?
They should do 2 things. One, make sure you go to the Kickstarter page and hit the notify me on launch button. The other thing that you can do is you can take it a step further. You can become a VIP for the campaign. And for $1, you can essentially just gain VIP perks when you back the campaign. So risingempires.alphaclashtcg.com is our VIP campaign page. Okay. On that, you'll be able to just get some really cool perks when you back the campaign just for $1. So
really, hey, what it's hear this, folks? You getting
That's
some
it.
goodness, baby. I love it. I love it. Now, what's the worst mistake they could make besides missing day one?
Worst mistake would be missing the campaign. I mean, you will have FOMO without a doubt. If you miss day one, that's okay, but don't miss the campaign. I really do think that if you are a comic book fan, comic book lover, you love good stories and everything that just makes a comic great, this is not something that you sleep on. Make sure you back it at any tier. Tell your friends about it. Get them to back it. And, you never know. This could grow bigger than just outside that Kickstarter.
Yeah. Oh, I'd say I'd kind of push it a little quicker than that, because like if you're a real collector, you really like this stuff. Like this will be our 6th campaign or 5th.
6th.
6th. Hey, look at you guys.
We've done 6 of these before. We hit our marks within minutes. So a lot of the top tier stuff those are the first thing to go. So if you are a big collector and you want to get a hold of a Mark Waid signed something or other or whatever is up there on that top tier, you jump on it right away, because those are the first things that go.
So basically, don't FAFO. Get it done real quick.
That's it.
Then don't kick yourself in the ass and being like you missed out. You heard?
It.
So this is what you gotta do for real. Listen again, it's that barcode. Please scan it right now. Get notified on the launch, man. I love to see 490 followers right now on it. 6 creative projects, and they're doing their thing, folks. So show love to amazing independent creators like this. Now, before we go, I always love to know: are you guys gonna be making or having plans for any appearances next year? Any local conventions or traveling? What's popping?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 2025 was big. It was kind of our exploratory year, trying to figure out what was good. We did about 15 conventions this year. Next year, we're looking at somewhere between 5 and 10, but we're hoping to be at C2E2, MegaCon. We're looking at so Gamma, that's more the game side, Gen Con, Origins, PAX, West.
PAX West. Okay, I was going to ask with PAX because PAX East is coming up, soon in March.
Yep, yeah, and we'll see if PAX Unplugged works. PAX East, that's Boston, right? Normally,
yeah, it's Boston, y'all. And listen, man, what an amazing show!
Yeah. Wow. So we were at LA Comic Con this year. That was a great show. That's one of those that we could add to it. You never know if San Diego Comic Con or New York Comic Con could.
You come down to New York, bro. I'll give you the website, bro. I'll make sure people know the fuck you there, bro. Because again, I really love the energy. I think you got. And let me tell you, Rich, the way you set up your room and the camera angle, that shit is dope. What do you have behind you? Because everything looks pretty fucking cool. What art do you have behind you?
He's got it set up.
So
I love it.
This is a character named Clarity who is a big protagonist. Yeah, ironically, protagonist in the story at large. And,
my man too.
Yeah. I also have War right behind me. So the Harbinger of War. I do have Cirque du Soleil posters, so signed posters. I've got them actually all around my office from the different shows that I worked on. We have a bunch of different products. So I got miniatures, I got booster boxes, PVE, a metal print. We got an uncut sheet right here. So that's an original sample uncut sheet. So before we even mass produced our game, we just did samples and then have that. This big weightlifter here, that's a trophy that I got in college for being the lifter of the year. And so that's really cool.
We have a comic book Kurt Angle in this motherfucker doing shit.
And then I've got a Beanie Baby. I've got a couple Beanie Babies because I dug them out of an old bin, but really it brought me back to the heart of collecting. So as a kid, I loved it. And they're not worth anything now, but every time I see them, it's a reminder of like, hey, we're doing something that we love, and we know that other people out there are experiencing the same thing with things that we're creating. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love that because you're not just a creator, but you're a fan. You understand this level of fandom, and you also want to create something that's fun. And listen, this is it, folks. Again, get on that pre-order. Did you see that cover that I showed y'all? Again, let me do one more time before we go. I mean, look at that cover right here. Holy shit. If that is not intriguing, you're nuts. I mean, look at that. Alpha Class, Rising Empires. You got those two amazing names, Mark Waid and AJ Light. I mean, come on, man. We got to make this pop off right there. So, again, the QR code, the link is below. I mean, that's the website. Like when we say, you can get some exclusives. Check out the studio on Facebook and Instagram at rising_empire_studios. And also the comic book on Facebook and Instagram at Alpha Class TCG. You heard? I mean, also I think everything's every easy peasy. You know how we do everything in the show notes. Make it easy for you to click away on the website live right now as we're doing this. All right. So this is what we do, man. Like we support amazing independent creators like you guys. So any last words, fellas, to convince folks why they need to do this right now?
Mark Waid, man, collectability, get in there, get it first, have a great time. It's going to be a good time, good ride.
I think you're going to see a lot more Alpha Clash for years, and I think that this is your perfect onboarding point.
See, get on, don't be missing, folks. So that's what I said. You already know when creators like Ridge and AJ step into the arena with something major, it's cooking, it's on fire. Even The Rock smells it. You feel me? So Rising Empires is about to crack open a brand new creator corner of the Alpha Class universe. And this ain't just another comics me gente. This is the full franchise expansion. You heard? With world-class storytelling, with visuals, and a creative team running at maximum overdrive. But listen carefully. The campaign ain't live yet. Not yet. Which means you still got time to get ahead of the wave. So here's what you do. You got to follow Rising Empire Studios on all the socials that I've been showing you, those little links. Hit notify, most importantly, on the Rising Empire's Kickstarter pre-launch page that I've been showing. That QR code right there. Go ahead, take a snap a picture before we go. And get ready to smash that day one button like you're clashing for real. Because when Rising Empires lands, it's going to shake the fandom through the multiverse for real. All right, you heard? So this is Al Mega reminding you. Support creators like Al right here, the other Al Light, Rich Kelly. You heard? Support indie comics and always bring that WEPA energy everywhere you go. Stay blessed, stay nerdy, and keep it Mega WEPA!
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.